Super duper happy Friday, everybody. This day is not the most productive day for most people, especially in a state where money moves around more than any place in the world. Yeah, that's Wall Street, New York. Anyway, having said that, I wanted to just go over a couple of things with you and understanding what money is. Okay, when I look up Black's Law Dictionary, the 4th or 5th edition, and I look up the word real money, you know what it states? It states gold and silver. See, one of these here. Let's get back to making this an option. I don't want to get rid of the system that's in place. I don't. All I want is a better option for us or another option for us. So again, when you look up real money, what is real money? Okay, real money here. In usual and ordinary exceptions, it means coins and paper, currency used as circulating medium of exchange, and does not embrace notes, bonds, evidences of debt, or other personal or real estate. Now, a medium of exchange authorized or adopted by a domestic or foreign government, the U.S. corporation that you're contracted with, a Social Security contract, which is a trust they create in your name. You can't access, stop trying to access it because you're going to wind up locked up. And the birth certificate. After that, you keep going and going with the public school contract. Then you keep contracting and you keep going to the supermarket. You keep giving your information. They keep piling it up on you, and you have no ability to operate through a private transaction, gold and silver. Let's bring this option back. Okay. Now, what this basically saying is gold and silver. That's what it's basically saying. Okay. Now, when you take a look at some of this other stuff and you try to understand what money is, remember that Federal Reserve notes only give you the opportunity to discharge what you want. They don't give you the opportunity or buy or pay for something. What do I mean by that? I or us, you have never bought anything with Federal Reserve notes, private commercial scripts. Everything you or I have was bought with pieces of time. Okay. I sold, or you sold, or we sold from our life to a job that will never have paid you enough when your time is up. You understand? Never. Okay. Federal Reserve notes do not give you what you want. We could change the system tomorrow if we got together and said, let's use something else. Let's use graphite. Let's use marbles. Let's use the bartering system, which is a little bit archaic. Yeah, I get it. But other times it's not. Sometimes we actually do it, without even knowing. But you have to understand that this is when they drag you. Why am I saying this? Because when they drag you into their Article 1 administrative proceeding, what they're looking to do is they're looking to get you to validate all of their negotiable instruments so that they can take the value of it and cash it in, send it off into the open market and get money because it's attached to a QSIP number. Okay. All you have to do is take a look at, in your state, all you have to do is look up a writ of attachment in your state. What is the code for the writ of attachment? And here in my state, it's 2023 Florida statute, including the Special Session C, Chapter 76 of attachment. Now, when you go down here, look at this very interesting thing. The return of the property upon forthcoming bond, because one way that you can discharge your criminal case, the same way you walk into a candy store at that bodega and you discharge whatever it is that you're getting, is through putting something in that may be in your favor. You never know. That person at the counter may take a piece of gold or a piece of silver. You don't know. You never asked. Ask. Okay? But in this instance, in your criminal case, you can put in a bond. Both sides have to be bonded. You see? So you come here to return of property upon bond to pay the debt. Okay? You can discharge that debt that they're claiming you are liable for through this. Okay? Look, they have to return it to you. They don't. See? Return of property upon bond to pay debt, which is your body. Okay? Your body. But that instrument, they don't ever return to you. Okay? So look, section sign 76.19. Okay? Look this up yourself in your state. Return of property upon bond to pay debt. Property attached may be restored to defendant or in a case of foreclosure or mortgage to any person who makes affidavit that he or she is the owner of the equity of redemption, okay, on his or her giving a bond with surety to be approved by the officer, conditioned for the payment to plaintiff of the debt and all costs of the action when they are adjudicated to be payable to the plaintiff. Boom. Right here. Property upon debt, right here. You see? Right here. I come out of their books. A lot of people like to tell me, yesterday I got into a discussion with two attorneys. They're looking at me like I'm crazy when I'm telling them about being able to invoke the equity jurisdiction because there is no money. When there is no injured party and they are charging you with a crime, a penal action, which is a criminal prosecution, but civil in nature. How can they be running both processes on you at the same time? Think for a second. Now, when you go into creditor and debtor law, right here, okay, look at this. This is what you have to see. You have to go into this and look at this, okay? Suit for post-judgment writ of replevin, okay? Suit for post-judgment writ of replevin simply allows the defendant to remain in possession of the property until final judgment awarding possession to the secured party is entered, okay? The only occasion in which the procedure is preferable to the alternative outlined in section sign 3.2.c.2-3.2.c.3. See, they make this complicated. But if you learn to read between the lines and you keep understanding and keep looking at what they're trying to do to you, you'll see what I'm saying is true. Is when the secured party does not want to assume responsibility for possession, care, and custody of the collateral until its right to possession is confirmed. If, for example, the secured party's right to take possession is questionable and the collateral would be difficult to protect or expensive to keep and maintain, the secured party may want to use this third replevin alternative in such an instance, okay? This alternative would be very similar to a judicial lien foreclosure, okay? Judicial lien foreclosure. Before they convict you or after they convict you, they put a lien on your social security number, okay? These people are doing this to you, okay? And you think it has something to do with criminal. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with, well, it has nothing to do with peace, justice, and the American way. Nothing to do with that. That's long gone, okay? This is about money, okay? So having said that, having to go over a little bit more of Article 3, negotiable instruments, the rule book for negotiable instruments, and then going over more of Article 9 investment securities and Article 8 secured transactions, you have to understand that reciting this over and over again give me a chance to say the same thing but add something smaller to it or an additive to it for those little details, and I'll shout those details out to you. Now, negotiable instruments, okay? Both the United States corporation and the U.S. citizen, in the scenarios that I'm explaining to you, give value and rights and receive value and rights through the contracts that they consistently sign and the agreements, okay? Now, the following elucidation that I'm going to explain to you deals with individuals and corporations. Individuals under persons or person, okay, value. 1-201, look this up, please, of the Uniform Commercial Code. Let's go slow. Value. If you haven't already looked it up, except as otherwise provided with respect to negotiable instruments and bank collections. Now, you have to attach U.C.C. or read U.C.C. 3-303, 4-210, and 4-211, okay? Those sections are important, okay? Because a person gives value for rights only or if he acquires them or she acquires them. You understand? Value. If you don't acquire them, they're not. If you don't require them or acquire them, they're not there. As security or for in total or partial satisfaction of a pre-existing claim. All those contracts that you signed over and over again, you gave value to the U.S. corporation because they want it. Okay, now they go through an undertaking. Okay, generally or routinely, a person gives value when he or she is exchanging them for rights. If he or she is obtaining a security for that one transaction. Okay, now, usually a person gives value when he or she is exchanging them for rights, okay? He or she is obtaining a security for that one transaction, okay? Now, those rights might be in the title to real property or a capacity to sue, okay? Or for performance, okay? Now, you're under contract with the U.S. corporation. As I repeat this over and over again, I constantly try to go over the same thing and add something to it so you get it. Now, a person, which is the United States in this scenario, can give value, which are benefits for rights, okay? A pledge. The United States is acquiring from the U.S. citizen, okay? You, us, or the person as a security, a blanket, a comfort blanket, a shielding for satisfaction of a claim that already exists, which is the national debt, okay? The rights the United States gets from the U.S. citizen, okay, secures payment, okay, or fulfillment on that pre-existing claim, okay? The international bankers have against the United States and or us, okay? U.S. citizens referred to as, in this instance, as sureties, okay? Now, the person giving the value, the United States, because they can be a person, has supposedly already received the promise of some kind from us, the U.S. citizens, okay? A person, the United States, or the United States is giving value again to get more rights from us, the U.S. citizens. They will acquire them as more security for total or partial satisfaction of that pre-existing claim, which is the national debt. Okay, now you have to understand a tax bill. What is a tax bill? Okay, now there are three instances or three senses or three sections of what's referred to as a bill. Okay, there are three sections to a bill of subsections. That's the way I could say it. Now, the first one is a formal declaration. Okay, now the second set are types of invoices. Okay, and the third set is going to be groups or a group of an opposed act. Okay, now the one I'm going to try to elucidate you to is the formal declaration. Okay, which are allegations of facts, a claim. Okay, contractual obligations. Okay, so formal petitions. Okay, indictments. Okay, is a true bill. Okay, is one of the ways you could be charged. Itemized specifications on that bill. Okay, legislative declarations can also be a bill. Promissory obligations that you gave. Okay, specification of details, statement of facts, or written certificate. It's like a written certificate when they charge you and they put an indictment on you. So now that you got the idea of what this bill section or this understanding of a bill is, let's go slow. A tax bill, okay? In this section of formal declarations that you made is considered value, okay? As it is liable of information. So they're deferring you, okay? So you have to turn around and do something about it or do something with that bill. A tax bill is considered value, okay? As is a liable of information for a quasi-criminal contract or case against you, okay? Us, the U.S. citizens, the person for violation of United States statutes, okay? You get it now? The United States is giving value by issuing an instrument for value, that bill indictment. The instrument carries a shielding for them, a guarantee for them, a soundness, okay, a protection. An instrument carries that security. Yes, a security interest, an instrument that is issued, okay? Now, you can do the same thing. You can take that bill, turn it into a negotiable instrument. Now, that can be considered value. All this can be considered value in exchange for giving the U.S. citizen a security interest in an instrument, okay? The United States is looking for rights in the property possessed by us, the U.S. citizen, okay? It is also looking a right to seize the body, the statute merchant, okay? Statute merchant, okay? A key understanding, and when you have to understand, it's Latin for demarcatoribus, okay? Which is, look this up, okay? So back in the day, in Old English law, a security, it was a security for a debt acknowledged to be due, okay? Entered in before a chief magistrate of some trading town or something of that sort. Resort to the statute around Edward XIII. Now, it was referred to as demarcatoribus. Look this up. DE space MERCATORIBUS. Okay. Now, by which that only the body of the debtor might be imprisoned. See? And his goods seized and satisfaction of a debt when they indict you for tax evasion. Also, your lands might be given to the creditor too. Same thing today. Even off the rents and profits of the debt until the debt is satisfied. You see this game? This is falling into disuse, but I don't think so. I think it's still alive. This is debtors' prisons. When you take a look at the right for them to seize the body, all of this is done to collect revenue from the U.S. citizen, us, as a surety. Okay? You all know what surety is already, is responsible party. Okay? Now, if the man or woman who represents the U.S. citizen does not recognize the value that's being given through the negotiable instrument or the indictment, that waiver that we make does not negate the right for the United States that they're acquiring in the transaction. You understand? In a normal situation or in a normal situation, the party given the rights receives value in the transaction. Okay? We all know a right is attached to a remedy. Okay? If the party who gives the rights is later accused of not performing, the right he or she gave as a security when she or she received the value can be used to seize the property, to satisfy the terms of the contract or the agreement. Okay? So like I've been explaining over and over again, a pre-existing claim makes an appearance. Okay? A pre-existing claim makes an appearance. Okay? Now, the United States already promised to repay the international lenders, right? But if it doesn't pay, what happens? The international lenders can use the United States statutes to collect from U.S. citizens. You see? Now, again, if the party who gave the rights is later accused of not performing, the rights are he or she gave as security when he or she received the value can be used to seize the property to satisfy the terms of the agreement. Okay? Now, so, and having said all this, both parties give value again, and both receive rights in each transaction. Okay? You have to understand this. Okay? The value given can be absolutely anything that is sufficient to support a simple contract. In the jurisdiction, their colorable admiralty jurisdiction or the arrangement, or where the arrangement is made, the territory of the U.S., of the United States Corporation. You see what I'm saying? They have plenary powers. Okay? Now, the rights given can be anything to secure the obligation incorporated in the agreement or the stipulations in the contract, including defenses, okay, against the claim made by the parties, again, against each other. You got to know what I'm saying? A word I want to go over is defenses. Anything that can be incorporated into the agreement, including defenses against claims made by the parties, okay? Now, or against each other, okay? In signing contracts, I want you to look defenses boxes. So, for instance, a car loan, they will have a claims and defense notice. And this is what this is trying to explain. When you take a look at the word defense, there are all kinds of defenses that you can allude to when you're in this. So when you look at defenses, there's an affidavit of defense, there's frivolous defense, there's legal defense, there's partial defense, preemptory defenses, et cetera, et cetera. Look it up in Black's Law. Okay, personal defense. Let me try to explain this a little bit further. Okay, so like in a negotiable instrument, okay, the law says a defense which through not good against a holder in due course, it is good against certain parties because of their participation in or knowledge of certain transactions or facts from which such defenses arises, such as a defense include all defenses that are not real or absolute defenses. So this falls under, I think it falls under U.C.C. 3-305. Look that up. But in particular, a defense that I want to go over here is with respect to defenses to commercial instrument, okay, of which a holder in due course, that's you, depending on what position you take with your signature, okay, you take it free. The term defense alludes to a legally recognized basis for avoiding liability, either on an instrument itself or on an obligation underlining the instrument. Incredibly important that you understand this, because claims and defenses, okay? Now, so having said this, I wanted to allude you to more of your defenses towards when you go to court, okay? If you read some of what I'm trying to say, you'll see that this will get more into your favor and you will learn to put more into your own reading, because what they're expecting from you is they're expecting you to just walk in there and do as they say. And that for me is not good for me. I don't know if it's good for you, but it's not good for me. So having said that, going through all of this, what I like to focus on is a lot of what is going to help you. And you have to go into doing this paperwork yourself, but you have to understand what you're doing first. Okay? Listen, this is not hard. This is the real deal. Okay? I get people all the time telling me, yo, I see people pulling cash out of their pocket all the time. Well, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why do you have so much money on you? Why do you keep flashing it? Why do you have the right to flash what you earn, but you're going to bring yourself unwanted attention. Okay? That attention is not unwanted when you meet at face value. It's unwanted when people know you have it and then they plot against you. I just got into an argument, or not even an argument, but somebody telling me he sees Nipsey Hussle hugging some dude. And, they're hugging the dude like this, like this. You can't see that I got a knife in my hand. The street is not a place where you can trust anybody. Okay? You got to move yourself out of that realm. Okay? I saw Nipsey Hussle yelling at somebody like he really wanted to hurt him because the dude was recording him. That dude has a First Amendment protected right to record in public. I mean, come on, man. You got to be smart. You don't want to be recorded, move away. But then recording brings yourself unwanted attention. But try hurting somebody that's recording you. Anyway, listen, it was great talking to you. This is what it's all about. You see? Invoking, demanding, and protecting your rights. Okay? It was amazing talking to you. Thank you for your attention. It's going to be a great day out there. I don't know if you could see the yachts out there, but they're swinging by. And my buddy owns one. Skip Whitaker's son played for the Boston Celtics. His son is a friend of mine. He went through a whole bunch of legal problems, going through a whole bunch of legal problems right now because he found a treasure. He found a treasure in the ocean and the government wants to take it from him. So I'm helping him out, move something out. He calls me up sometimes in the middle of the night because they don't stop harassing him. They keep harassing him over and over again for no reason. His name is Bailey Whitaker is his name. Cool guy. He's a really awesome guy. Loves motorbikes. You can look him up on the internet. He races motorcycles. He builds motorcycles. Incredibly fantastic guy. But anyway, it was great talking to you. I so glad, love your attention. Please focus on looking for another option, okay, to move your hard-working productivity around, okay? I know people who use this, and I use it as well, okay? Give yourself more options in the private, okay? Secured party creditor is a good idea. You know somebody that can do the paperwork for you, and you know somebody that can move it around for you, yeah, do it. It's one option that you can do. It's one avenue. You don't need it to do or to invoke the equity jurisdiction. You don't. But secured party credit is a very valuable position that you can take to protect your assets and to what do they call it? Forget what they call it, but it's a good avenue for you to take. Okay. But just remember, you have to have some type of income. Okay. I know people who are secured party creditor. They don't have any social security numbers. They don't use it. They operate with just gold and silver or certificates redeemable in gold and silver, and maybe move around, circumvent, in the background with negotiable instruments. Okay. They operate that way. I know people who do it. Okay. You're looking at one right here. You're either going to be working harder. Let me explain something to you. You're either going to be working smarter to build your dreams, or you're going to be working harder to build someone else's by working for them. Which one do you want? It's that simple. I don't care what anybody says. You better learn how to start building your own dreams in the private, because the next war is coming. I guarantee you it's coming. They're going to definitely sign it up. And guess what? They can draft each and every one of your children to go to that war. Oh, my son's not going. If your son doesn't go, your son goes to jail. Okay. And now women are becoming Navy SEALs. Okay. Now, all you women who want to be tough as men, okay, now you're going to sling the rifle and you're going to point down range, go thousands of miles away to kill a man or kill a woman who's done nothing to you and you've never met before. Dude, if that is not the most ignorant thing I have ever heard of in my life, I don't know what is. Read the book by Major General Smedley D. Butler, top 1% of most decorated generals. He won the Medal of Honor not once, but twice, and wrote the book, War is a Racket. Okay? Read it. Okay? All you have to do is keep educating yourself. Okay? Thank you for your attention.